I know that it's the last hours of the day. Also, all of you might be tired of with the so much of classes from the morning, as well as the 15 days offline classes as well as the online. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. And I may not be much boring you guys. My class will be around 60 minutes to 1 hour, and 15 to 20 minutes we can have a discussion. I will use both the languages. Is okay, both English as well as the Kannada. And I know that some of them are expressed that these the deliberations of the all the lectures may not be. Uh, I cannot be say that 100% will be reaching each and everyone. At the best effort of the organizers and the students' effort, both the things would be combined, and then the learning process will be continued. That is what always will be discussed in the academic area and academic arena. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the participants and also the organizers. Participants to joining these kind of programs, specifically on the use of modern tools in the social science research, as well as the conducting this kind of a program from the organizers, specifically the coordinator, Dr. Hanugodi Matsar, and his team. They are well deserved for the applause always to dedicated team. So today I'm going to speak on, I think you all learned many skills regarding the social science research and discussing on for long 15 days and all. I would like to, this class, maybe you might be thinking that this is a kind of a touching upon all the other aspects you have learned and what exactly the social science research is. With the knowledge I gained as well as the experience for long 15 to 20 years. Earlier to this institution, I was working in Central Institute of Indian Languages for 5 years, and also that is also research institute comes under the central government. So that was specifically with the language based. Here, the social science research we used to conduct. I'm having a background of anthropology, and you might be knowing that anthropology is scientific study of human beings. We study all the aspects of human being. But though it is my subject is very specific to the qualitative data analysis and qualitative research. So in this institution, we combined both the methods of qualitative and quantitative data for our uh, different projects and all. So now, this hour, I would like to discuss something related to this, how this research design as well as the qualitative research, and also I would like to combine certain aspects of observation method, and also along with you guys, I discuss some of your participant regarding what exactly happening with the focus group discussion as well as the case studies and all. I hope that that was covered with your from your previous classes and all. But always we cannot be say that we are proficient. Suppose if we attend some classes on regarding the social science research or heard some lectures. So the different experiences will be always helpful for addition to your research. Oh, and this group of people around both the what is that people are teachers as well as the students are combined. So I would like to make my lecture very simple as possible, and also later we can have some we can have discussion. Some question can be taken care of it. So now I would like to share my PPT so that in between that, if you have any kind of a doubt or any kind of a clarification, you can stop me so that we can continue with the discussion later. The presentation can then be move forward. Let me share my PPT. Is it, can you see now?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Visible. Okay, fine. See, as I said, that research in social sciences is very crucial these days. As we discussed about the modern tools and technologies, now global is connected. Everything is in our hand. The whole world is in our hand. And now it becomes a global village. The technologies are uh, made our life very simple and also easy. In the same way, for the research also, our life become very easy as well as the very simple nature. Because of these things, we are using modern tools and technologies in social research also. But even then, whatever the modern technology, we need to use it. Certain basic things are very, very important. Without the basic things, we cannot be move forward with the technologies. That you all always know that. Now the era of AI, so everything is advanced and AI based. Even then, human interactions and human presence is always that cannot be replaced. That yeah, even though what are the things are coming, but human cannot be replaced. And also, we ultimately all these things are towards the welfare of the human being. So ultimately, human beings or humans are very important. Whatever the research we do it, whatever the technology you bring it, whatever the advanced kind of or user friendly, whatever you can say that. That's ultimately it is the welfare of the human being, and also it will be helpful for the human beings. Only we always do that. So social science research always helps to always is a challenging when compared with the science based or science discipline research, because social sciences we are dealing with the people. See, for pure sciences, sometimes lab based, or sometimes it is we are dealing with the chemicals or some other materials. But when you are dealing with the mm, human beings, it's very important, and also always the researcher should have some kind of a sensibility as well as some kind of a caution as well as the having the full knowledge of it. So by saying this, I will move on to the next slide. It is how this research can be designed in social sciences. Might be some other resource person would have been discussed. See, my idea of social science research, I would like to share with you guys. See, in the natural sciences, okay, so in study the natural world. The natural world only we need to be studied. Okay, that is what in natural sciences is in the natural world we used to study. The same way in the social sciences also, but the focus will be on human beings and human behaviors and society, because social science we can say is society as well as the combination of science, society as well as the science and social and the sciences. So we need to understand what exactly the behavior of the human as well as the how he is involved with the society. That is a job of the social sciences. In humanities, you can say that, okay, in humanities, explore the human culture and expressions. That is the job of the humanities. So disciplines of social sciences, you know that many, what are the disciplines of social sciences? So, and also subject areas of humanities and discipline. You might be know that what are the subject areas of humanities discipline as well as disciplines of social sciences. Always this, sometimes humanities, the combining with the other, combining with the disciplines like language or some other disciplines, maybe having some kind of, maybe indirectly or directly connecting with the human being. Social science is always directly connected the welfare of the human being. Okay. So when we are talking about the social sciences, so several questions in mind on the problem confronted day in and day out. Every day, one or other problems will be there in the society and the minds of the human beings. To several people, like children's, they're grown up, and also the problems of children, problems of the society, many things are there. So, um, and also this human being always having, while looking into their everyday life, is having some kind of a curiosity will be developed in his mind. That is a basic quality of all human beings. What exactly it is happening in the other part of it? What is happening in everyday life? We always having some kind of a curiosity. That is the basic quality of any human being. And when uh, these kind of a questions every that will be come to minds of every human being, either it may be a layman, or it may be a student, or it may be children, or it may any common man. Everybody are having finding some kind of one or other uh, problems in the society, or some kind of a solutions which according to the problem which they understand. But when such inquiries or such kind of questions come to their mind, which studied scientifically, which made it scientifically, then it becomes a scientific research. That is what the role of the researcher comes there. The when the common man, there's a difference between the common man as well as the researcher. Common man will always will be looking look the problem in a direct way. Direct way in the sense you may not be find the solution. You may not be come out with some kind of a solution. You may just having some kind of a curiosity as well as the some kind of inquiry. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when it is scientific inquiry, it always helps to develop new concepts. The concepts that leads to discovery of new laws and theories, or improves or modifies the existing one. This kind of a scientific inquiry by the researchers, okay, are trying to develop a new concepts through the certain kind of a research and methodology that leads to the new laws as well as the theories. Based on that, based on the studies, based on the new concept he brought it, that will become the new law or theories. That always um, the theories which already brought out of it will be improved or modify the existing one. That is the main crux of the scientific inquiry we always researchers do. Okay. Okay. Research implies search and research or re-examination into the existing situation of humans. You all know that, but even then, so by remembering the what exactly the researcher used to do. So it is a search, a research, a re-examinations. Because we always should be having that. See, many of our students will always say that, sir, there will not be any kind of a literature on the topic which I am going to do, conduct the research. So nobody has done it, sir. I'm the only one person is going to do that. So that is completely wrong because we are researching because something already there. Because society is there and human beings are there, problems are there, some kind of solutions. Some person would have been brought it out. Either he may be a researcher or he may be a scientist or some kind of a anyone. But there are some kind of a search was going on. I searched certain things, and we being a researcher, we need to research again a re-examination to make the things whether it is a correct one or whether it is having some kind of a deviation from the earlier one. So that is the idea of the social science research. See, there are certain two kinds of a job we always used to do it. One is there are some kind of existing theories, okay, and that you have to prove yourself by conducting the research, collecting the data, hypothesis, conclusion, result, and discussion. Then you can come out with the things that yes, my research or my study also support the theory which is already existing. Okay, so this is the result like that when you would like to show that. Otherwise, what you used to do, you have to find out a different kind of a uh, different kind of ideas, a new concept that will become discoveries. That will become the discovery. Okay, so then researchers should have the skill and ability to choose appropriate and specificity of study tools and technique. Yes, when it comes to the social science research and being a researcher, we should have the skill and ability to choose appropriate and specificity of study. See, because of these kind of courses and the classes which you learn from your masters, as well as which you are teaching in your students. So through that we will be knowing that what sort of a we have some kind of a skills as well as the ability to use certain kind of a tools and technique to understand the research problem. Okay, these structural procedures and rules are known as method. These kind of approaches which and also approaches which were driven by certain kind of procedures and are called methodology. There is a difference between method and methodology, you know that. Okay, so certain kind of a methods we will be using. So methodology is a whole thing, philosophy of philosophy of knowledge of research. So methods are specific methods we use it to understand what sort of approaches are required to understand or to find the solution to the research question as well as the objectives which are having in our study area. Okay. So next, see scientific method in a simplistic manner, if you like to know that. So it is an independent variable is the cause. A dependent variable is the effect. You might be knowing that. So most of them are economics based students. So an independent variable is the cause and the dependent variable is the effect. Cause and effect in a casual any kind of a casual research study. So these things we always know that there is an independent variable as well as the dependent variable. There is a cause as well as the effect of that. So dependent variable cannot change our group, but independent variable stand alone. That we might be you might understand. Both are, but both are having a theoretical relationships. See, that means that theoretical relationship can call it as a hypothesis. Through the hypothesis, we can be understand that there is a relationship between the independent and dependent variables. See, the hypothesis is a relation between the cause and effect. That through the correlation. So, what sort of a correlation having about the things we can be understand to through the hypothesis we are having. For example, if you take the example of this, eating banana immediately after exercise increase the muscle generation. This is the example. When you eat banana, uh, okay, after the exercise, that will be increase the muscle regeneration. This is a kind of a hypothesis. Okay, these the cause and effect. Okay, for this cause and effect, sometimes the other factors might also be influenced. Like if you take some kind of instead of banana, if you combine some other fruits or some other milk or anything, that will be always having some kind of a influence on the effect. That is a that means that there are other extraneous factors will also be make some kind of effort of it. But the being a research social science researcher, I would like to concentrate on what exactly the the effect of the cause, what are the causes and how that will be impact on the effect of it. Okay. So in the experiment of banana, you can say the dependent variable can be measured after the exercise. Okay. Independent variable cannot change. See here another example we can be say that temperature inside the car is changed. People sitting inside the car indicate how they feel at each temperature. You got my point. Here, temperature uh, in the car is a cause. So how they feel, it's an effect. Okay, sitting inside the car, they will feel it. In the same way, the smartphone usage affects heart rate. The use of smartphone and the that will be affect on the heart rate. Time spent working from home affect work performance. Cause and effect. Okay. So likewise, income and education. Suppose if income comes under the independent individual level, it will become the independent, and the education become independent. Suppose if you consider under the society level, the society level education become the independent. In the individual level, income might be the dependent. So we need to be understand which would be the independent variable and which would be depending on that. So independent, you have to be you have to be very cautiously will be define that which will be the independent and which will be the dependent variable. Probably might be learned from the earlier classes. I don't want to touch upon more those things. In cross-sectional studies, you might know that what is the cross-sectional studies and all. The same time, so we will be trying to understand what will be the effect of it. So independent variables are called. So you can see in cross-sectional studies are predictors, dependent variables are responses. This is in a different terminologies will be used in a different kind of a research, but the meaning behind it are always the same. Okay, so measuring variables. This quantitative study, this is standardized survey, census data, social media data. So there, this testing of hypothesis through the statistical test we do it, and also variable measured in the reliable and validity, and consistency in the accuracy manner will be there. Quantitative study design. The counting method is consistent accuracy. If the variable consists of numbers, okay, like what I said that a number of banana items, there will be some kind of a consistency and accuracy that will be in quantitative data, will be helpful in quantitative methods. And relation between independent and dependent variables can be calculated using regression analysis. How this one variable or will be affect on another variable, how that will be depending on that, what causes what effect will be happen, like that effect, for example, effect of banana on quantity of muscle building, right? How much, how this banana will be helpful to increase the quantity of muscle building, that will be analyzed by the regression method. Probably you might be learned in the previous classes and all. I don't want to touch upon all those things. Just I would like to brush up your memory in the last 15-20 days. Learned it. Okay. Coming to the empirical approach, the why, who, how, and when of research. So these are all the different terms which we always using and always will be come to our mind, always will be in our study, will be coming into picture. So in any kind of empirical approaches, these are all the common words we used to use. We used to use in our everyday research and the process of research. So why he always establishes the need for the study and generates a series of expected results or hypotheses. We always ask question why. Why means it establishes need for the why the study is required, why the study is needed. It generates a series of expected result or hypothesis. Okay. Coming to the whom in the sense, if you ask the question whom, the what population, whether the population or a sample. So that is whom we are to whom we are approaching, to whom we are getting the sample, to whom we are getting the information. Those things, those terms, those uh, 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 letters, sorry, words, we always use it for the purpose of that. Then how the word of how we always selection of variables to observe and how to statistically analyze them. So this how will be coming to picture. Then when. So when means this establishes the need for the study. Again, this will be connected with the why and when, both the things. And that means acquired data may be numbers, that you all know that it's a quantitative or narrative data. So depending on the type of research, depending on the type of research, we need to be decide that whether the numbers are required, numbers is alone is enough, or some narratives are required. Now it's a new trend, that's a mixed method, triangulation we used to call it as. See, people will be combined both the quantitative and as well as the qualitative data to enrich the results output, as well as the that will be bring out some kind of policy suggestions to that. In that sense, the mixed method and different methods will be mixed out of it, and also to understand that is what now the trend is, that you are multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach. Earlier unidisciplinary approach was very popular, and now that era gone now. We cannot find the, so historians cannot be find only historical aspects. And also these other sociologists cannot be, see, economists cannot be just only depending on the quantitative data or qualitative data for other discipline and all. We need to combine the many what is that data to understand the problem as well as the finding the solution for that. Okay. So role of theory in research. You know that we always people are talking about theories and all. So most of the time we confusion with what exactly the theory is, how to develop the theories, how we will be finding the theories and all. Theories are nothing but this already exists in some kind of a knowledge, nothing more than that. So we need to be either it will be added to the particular theory or some kind of a addition to that. See, theories explain relationship between distinct observation. That will explain the relationship between the observation, different observations. That is a theory. Okay. That means that not all research tests are developed theories. Don't think that all the tests develop research tests are the theory develops sometimes may not be come out with some kind of a theoretical arguments. Most research relies on the theories to develop it, but most of the research relies on the theories for the develop of hypothesis. Suppose if you have some kind of hypothesis, that will by hypothesis will be developed based on the problems we will be come across in our everyday life. So that most of the times theories always will be behind that. That then theories can be deductive or inductive. So let us see that what exactly the deductive and inductive. Probably you learned it. So let me brief about that. So this is a deductive theory, deductive method we can say. So deductive is always a top-down approach. Deductive approach work from the more general to the more specific. See, theories are more general. Okay, when we bring it into the theory, into certain, we will be more specific to our research. Then that is a deductive way of theoretical aspects. See, for example, if you take the example of uh, any general theories, Newton's third law, if you take it. See, there is a equal and opposite reactions. There is a reaction, there will be a equal and opposite reaction. That is a theory, you can say that. See, we need to test the same way whether the same theory is applicable to my research, but we prove that particular theory or not. So that is bringing into the more general into the more. Okay, so here we might begin with see this theory. Then based on the theory, we bring out some kind of we brought out some kind of a hypothesis. For that hypothesis, we do some kind of observation. Based on the observation, we confirm that what are the results and whether this theory is confirmed by my research or not like that. So that means we might begin with thinking of a theory about our topic of interest. We should think the theory of a topic of our interest. What are the theories are there? Okay. We then narrow down into more specific hypotheses that we can test. After this theory, so we should be narrowed down from theory to the hypothesis. Okay. So more specific hypothesis we can be that testable hypothesis. That is very important thing. So we can bring it. Plus. After this, we narrow down further, even further when we collect observation to address the hypothesis. Further, we further narrow down the into the certain kind of a collection of the observation, collector of the data. So to either to prove or disprove the hypothesis. Okay. Ultimately, it leads to able to test the hypothesis, the specific data, a confirmation or not of our original theories. The ultimately it leads to whether this will be confirmation of the hypothesis. Okay. So with the specific data we observe so data observation or not. That is to whether that is to understand the theories which we already thinking of for our topic of interest. Okay, coming to the inductive method or inductive theory of design. See, it's a bottom-up approach. So earlier we have a top-down. Now it is a bottom-up approach. See, here moving from specific observation to the broader generalization and theories. So here some kind of a specific observation we made it. Based on that, we create some kind of a patterns. So then tentative hypothesis will be drawn. Based on that, we bring out some kind of a theories. So this is a inductive method. Deductive means top down. Inductive means bottom up. Okay. In inductive reasoning, we begin with specific observation and measures. Might be hard about the grounded theory. So grounded theory, what we used to do it. See, we bring the theories at the end. So, based to bring the theory, first we need to be collect the data, observation we call it as. So, based on that, see detect some kind of a pattern and regularities. So, we will be make some kind of a data or observation in a different patterns, and how this will be setting into that, how the contribution of different kind of a observation. Then formulate some tentative hypothesis based on the data we collected. We formulate some tentative hypothesis. Might be the reason for that, or some kind of a this might be, or this would be the cases like that. We will be imagine certain kind of thing. We would be hypothesize certain kind of a uh, certain kind of idea about the based on the observation and the pattern, that patterns based on that. So then we can the finally end up developing some general conclusions or theories. Now the experience we gain based on the observation and the patterns and tentative hypothesis, then bring out some kind of a general conclusion. That general conclusion can be theories. So that is inductive or bottom. So that means what? Theory leads to the development of hypothesis and also theory formulated from distinct observation. Both the things. So develop hypothesis can develop the hypothesis and also theory is formulated from the distinct observation. So from the distinct observation, theory can be formulated. Typically, inductive theories lead to the possibility to gather hypothesis and then test these through the further research. You know that these inductive theories lead to possible to gather the hypothesis and testing these hypotheses for the further research. Okay. So coming to the research design, note that your research problem determines the type of design you should use. Okay. Address the research problem logically and as unambiguously as possible. That is always you should be have in our mind that research problem should be very logical and unambiguous as possible. Most of the time, what our students do, um, what is that? Our title will be very long one, and problem a lot of the research problem they would like to solve it in a that particular research. Either it may be a PhD thesis or it is a different research problem, research projects, but that cannot be possible. Always that is what we always say, that there are some kind of a limitations of the study. We mention it. That means that this is what I done it. Rest of the things other researcher can be taken up. See, while we are talking about the literature review, you might be knowing that we are trying to find the gap in that particular area of research, that particular our mm, area of interest. Okay, so there by understanding the different literature, by understanding the literature we already existing, or by understanding the studies conducted, so we would like to find out what exactly the gap which the researcher were not touched upon that. So then I need to be fill that gap. That is the idea of it. For that reason, we need to be trying to understand that our role of as a researcher is very limited, and also we are contributing very small part to the big arena of research. Okay, so that is what we should be having for the being a researcher. We should We should be know that what is our limitations now. Okay. So then research design is the plan, structure, and strategy of investigation. You know that. So what are the plans, structures, and strategy of investigation? You know that that is brought under the design. Most of the time, we will be planned for 3 years of submitting our research based thesis. May not be done it, and also some projects also 1 year project the funding agency assigned may not be finished. That should not be the case. We should plan accordingly, so structure it. So which date and which time we should be clear it enough and make a strategy for the investigation. So in social research, two categories of data are mainly used. As that you know that I don't want to. So I just would like to touch up on the qualitative research technique. So you guys definitely would learn that. So being a anthropology student and being trained in the qualitative research. I am very more interested on qualitative research technique than the quantitative. But quantitative is both are combining nowadays. So we cannot be just say that qualitative is different and quantitative. We need to combine both the things. But most of the times we rely on qualitative data analysis and also research techniques. But even then, you learned many things from the earlier classes. I would like to just touch upon I brush up. The primary, the qualitative research is explorative research. We explore certain kind of new things based on the data. So that is what we always say is kind of a deductive approaches. It is used to gain an understanding of underlying reason, opinions, and motivations. See, we will gain the understanding based on the opinions, so and also underlying reason behind, and it provides insights into the problem or helps to develop ideas or hypotheses for potential quantitative research. This will provide the lot of ideas to the quantitative research. So it will give it helps to develop ideas of the hypothesis. Okay. It will qualitative data or qualitative analysis or qualitative research always gives some kind of a idea on the hypothesis or for the development hypothesis for the quantitative research. So you know that different methods in qualitative research, ethnographic methods used to in anthropology, sociology, social work, we used to conduct ethnographic methods. It's a very popular. Even in companies, also different companies also are in HR department. They are also thinking about ethnographic research in their company or in any other research field. See, and also the case studies, different case studies. More probably this also be covered by the other resource person. And focus group discussion is a very important aspect to understand before we move on to the field. Focus group discussion always will help us to the broader idea of the research problem. Cases are very specific cases we would like to take up, and also by trying to understand the reason for the research problem. And historical method. Historical methods, the data or the information which are available for that particular research area or research problem should be gathered. So either through the secondary data or the primary data. Sometimes primary data, you can say that though it is historical information on the worldview of the community, you can say that suppose if you are doing some kind of a research on what is that? You can say that Janapada ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು sociological aspect or community based aspect. There or how this there are some kind of narrations or some kind of a story behind the communities. All those things, this historical method will be helpful. So let us see that what exactly the ethnographic method. I'm very briefly I would like to say. It is a there are other things also there, like the part observation as well as the interviews. Both the things are very important in the ethnographic method. The participant, again in observation, we have a participant observation and non-participant observation. We can say participant observation and insider and outsiders. See, Observation method is very, very important. And also in all the research, observation method, suppose if you accept the secondary data based on secondary data analysis, based on the research, depending on the secondary data, when your primary data or some kind of data, you are take up from the field or from the sample from the participants or from your uh, interviewee. Definitely, the observation method makes sense. Observation method is very, very important. So before we suppose if you go to the field or suppose if you go to anybody's house, if you say that you while observing certain kind of things you can understand, we need not be asked the questions which are irrelevant, which are what is that not um, what is that will it will embracing the participant. You can avoid it by observing certain kind of aspect in the field. See, you need not be decide on your. You need not be asked many questions. Suppose if you know, observe certain kind of things when you go to the field. The participant observation in anthropological research or in any kind of a qualitative data analysis discipline, or depending on the qualitative uh, methods, this participant observation is most important and also very crucial. It's not easy while conducting the participant observation. Okay. Participant observation means you should be there. You are also one of the participant. Non-participant observation, you do the observation but not be participant. Quasi means it's a short term or half of the things you do it. Okay. Insider and outsider. Always insider observation is different than the outsider observation. Suppose you when you are conducting the study on your own community, you feel that. Okay. So you are an insider, but the view of outsider to compare with the inside is different. The same vice versa. Sometimes what happens, insider maybe neglect certain kind of behaviors of the people, will thinking that it's a very common, need not be reported. But the outsider will always have a curiosity that what some kind of a what is happening, as well as the small changes also will be noted, will be reporting. This will happen with the most of the time the foreign authors can say that. So they are curious about the Indian scenario, what exactly happened. So they will point out each and every aspect. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕಾಲ್ ತೊಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರೋದು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕಾಲ್ ವಾಶ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಮನ್. ವಿ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ನೀಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೇನೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಫಾರಿನರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಾಸಿಟಿ. That is what there are some kind of a insider view and outsider view is different. That I will come later. Again, the ethnographic method, interviews, formal interviews, informal interviews will be do it, and key informants are very important. Key informants are the from the key informants we will get a lot of information. Frame questionnaire or open-ended or closed. Whether the open-ended question or closed-ended question, but open-ended questions always will be the ethnographic method. So case studies you already learned, I think so. So detailed information we have on that particular case, or if you identify when you go to the field, you need to be identify some cases, or this should be the very detailed information is required for this for that. Then you will be decided it's a case. Then collect the information, detailed information about that. The verbatim is very important. In anthropological research, we always depending on the verbatim. Verbatim means how the person will be explained that, whether he will be explained in his own way. Like suppose ಅವನೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಗ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದಟ್, ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೋತೀರಾ ನೀವು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಂದಾಗ? ಸೇರ್ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಆಗಲ್ರಿ, ಅದರಿಂದ ವಾಸಿ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಔಷಧಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾಟಿ ಔಷಧಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದಂತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ medicine. So that means the exact verbatim of the person you need to bring it. See, then in the bracket you can be mentioned that what is the meaning in English, but verbatim should be bring. That is a very important thing in case studies. Okay, so that is what these case studies Focus group discussion, they are not at all may not be having the objectivity. Maybe it is a subjectivity, but that give lot of information, and also having so many information behind that. That is what the role of researcher is very challenging when we have these kind of qualitative data or detailed information, how to analyze it. So when we get the number, it would be easy with the software can be do it, but when the detailed information, elaborate information, or some kind of a narrative information if you have, see, then that is a challenge for the researcher to bring into that. Okay, identification of case, what I said is very important. Sometimes extended case studies are also be done. For example, extended case studies probably in the yeah, extended case studies. You can say that okay. Suppose if you other day I was discussing, in fact, even then farmer suicide. So that is the case. Suppose if you take the example, you go there, what exactly happening, farmer suicide, whether he had a loan from bank, whether some kind of harassment from the bank side, or how he commit suicide. Okay, so how much of loan he was having, so okay, for what purposes he brought it, whether he used for the loan for that purposes or not. These are all the information. How many kids are there? So what is the age of her wife and children, and what was his role, and what are the gaps and all those things. That is the case when you're studying about the farmer suicide and all. The extended case study is a further version of it, so you need to be understand what is the effect after his death. So that is a extended case study. See, after his suicide, what was the how this society is looking to them. So how that is how their behavior of their neighbors, and how the behavior of the government, and what impact happened on their lifestyle, how their family is running, and how their economy or income has been affected. All these things comes under the extended case studies. So when you are these kind of see, suppose if you conduct some kind of a case studies, you may not be need to take the thousands of samples and all. Even 5 6 samples will also be tell about the reason for that. That is what always we need to be add the qualitative data, quantitative data at that analysis. And this qualitative data analysis, like FGD's results as well as the case studies results, so we need to be combined. That will be then it will become the complete the report. Can say that. See, FZDs also. FZDs always focus group discussion. Sometimes the people were asking me that, sir, what is the difference between focus group discussion as well as the panel discussion? Okay, so in the TV they used to they call it as a panel discussion. Panel discussion is it's a open platform. The speakers, so they can discuss whatever their idea are having. But focus group discussion is issues are very focused, cannot be what is that, deviate from the main focus of the issue. So that is what when we are conducting the focus group discussion, there are some kind of a moderators and the recorders. They always probe into the particular issue, as well as the bring. Suppose if um, the, the the participants are going out of the main issue, they will bring back to that. So and also here we probably you learned that how many people should be there in the FGD and all. Maybe we should not be more than 12, and we should not be 78 must be there. And one important thing is homogeneous group. The certain sometimes suppose if you combined husband and wife in focus group discussion. So what happened? The wife will be mute spectator. Sometimes she may not be open her mouth. Her idea will not be come out of because in front of the husband may be dominating to discussing the things than his wife. So there we need to be have some kind of a idea that to which group we need to be conduct the focus group discussion. And in-laws also. Suppose if mother-in-law is also part of the FGD, then daughter-in-law may not be speak. See, their idea, their expression will be curtailed when the mother-in-law in the team. So that does not mean that you should not combine this kind of a homogeneous group or heterogeneous group. So that can be combined, but depending on the situation and depending on the topic we are going to be covered, so we need to be decide that, so whether to combine the in-law and the sister-in-law and daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law, or husband and wife, that we need. And also age and gender also matters. Sometimes age, the elder one will always be saying, having knowledge or experience. He will be speaking on that particular issue when we ask the questions. But the elders may not, say younger ones may not be get the chance to speak for that. So may not be open their mouth also. We need to probe them into that to discuss on those things. And gender always matters. In the male and female combinations, male dominated society means female may not be. So then vice versa. Suppose sometimes only females will speak, male may not be. So these are all the aspects we need to be understand while conducting the focus group discussion. And sometimes very dominant of respondent will be there. He always wanted to take talk and also suppress others. So these are all very important things while taking care of the FGDs. And listening is very important. So we need to listen the people. Don't come out with some kind of a conclusion. Oh, ನೀವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದಾ, ಇದರಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದಾ, ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್, we need to pose the question, wait for their responses. So if somebody is dominating, then you can be cut his role, then give the opportunity for others. But when you should be a very good listener. Okay, so that is also one of the quality of the researcher. Okay, so historical method, we already discussed the facts, infer the facts, and bring out with some kind of conclusion, and develop a theory, understanding universal theory, scientific data. Based on the historical method, you can develop a theory, understanding universal theories also, and combine with the scientific data. This is about the historical method. So this is very brief about, I thought of talking about the research in social sciences, also how these the very broader issue I would like to touch upon those things. Do anybody having some kind of any questions on this before moving on to next?
Sir, regarding the observation method,
Hmm.
somebody will be going to observe in a different direction, somebody will be going to different direction. How we will
Right.
give the proper conclusion, sir? That's a very challenging issue.
No, no, no. Here the observer is researcher is the observer. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Researcher is the observer. See, we cannot be ask the participants to behave like this. See, in the natural setting, we need to observe that what is happening around us. That is most important. So, in a laboratory, that is a properly set up. We made it in a society or in a social sense research. We cannot insist anything to the people. So we need to observe somebody. Yeah, you can say that. See, your observation may not be the exact observation of mine. I agree, because their subjectivity will come. That is what always telling. That is, we cannot be objectivity. We cannot be observed there. See, suppose if I conduct some kind of observation in a particular place, so maybe a different of reporting. And when you are doing that, that might be a different kind of observation you made it. But ultimately, the major crux or major theme cannot be changed. See, suppose if you go to the any kind of a um, uh, company, okay, so behavior of the people, well, before coming into the office or moving out of it, and how their behaviors may not be the everyday the same thing, but ultimately the overall concept definitely will be the same. So that observation we should be making.
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
understood. Yeah, I understood, sir. I
Yeah.
understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, once I go to the field, I observe something. Like,
Hmm.
how should I interpret it in the thesis?
Okay.
You
So when
can,
you see, yeah, yeah. Would you like to continue?
yes, sir. You continue, sir.
Yeah, okay. Uh, See, suppose if observation method is a one kind of a addition method. Okay. Okay, we cannot be explain everything based on the just observation method. Okay, when we go to the field, see, suppose the person will be, suppose if you go to any kind of house, will be saying that I'm very poor. Okay, so I cannot be, I am not at all, my income level is even in a year, it is only to 1 lakh rupees like that. You keep observing that what exactly, what sort of a assets he is having. That will be one kind of a indication you give that probe certain kind of a different question to him to understand the income level of that particular person. Okay, so that will be helpful to the observation and certain kind of a behaviors of the people. You know, this is a different example if you take it. When the behavior of the people, you need to be observed. See, suppose if you go to the mall or any kind of a mall or any kind of a mall, if you go there, you need to observe that what sort of a item people used to buy it, whether they are much what is that more interest on new things or some kind of essential things. Okay, these are all the observation you need to do it. Suppose suppose if people are in a traffic signal, so how the people will behave, whether they will be wait for the red light to blue light or very hurry to go that. What sort of behaviors? So whether the young ones, I mean the youths or the older ones are male or female, like that, this kind of observation is a kind of an example. So we need to be understand based on the demanding of the research we are going to conduct, we need to report it accordingly. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? I have another PPT on observation method. Ramappa, is that time? Shall I continue with the things? One more presentation? Or,
Yes, sir, you can, sir.
okay. So if everybody agrees, I will be just highlight about the observation method since the questions on observation method. I just would like to add something to little bit detail about the observation methods. Okay. Okay. This I don't want to very taking you guys into further into that. You understood all those things, but very basic things about observation. We always observe around us. We see casual observation. Sometimes we ignore. We observe even then we ignore. So sometimes that is recorded in our mind as well, or sometimes may not be noticed what is happening. Okay, sometimes we think that is not important. May not be having a specific purposes. That is the reason we simply observe and go. But when you come to this researcher, we have always having some kind of a observation. That is one of the data collection method along with the interview questionnaire and database. This is also one kind of a observation, also data collection method. Based on that, we come out with some kind of draw a conclusion or some kind of a bring some kind of a results out of. So it is rooted in ethnography. I already said that. So observation of the people action. Okay. So act of recording that which is being observed. Okay. Goal is to help the researcher learn perspective, help the participants. What sort of perspective the participants are having. That is the that will help the researcher to understand the things. And used in conjunction with other methods. That is what I said that it is not only not only observation method alone. Observation method alone will give the conclusion to us, will give the broader information to us. So we need to combine interviews, focus, and content analysis. By conjunction of all these methods, then we can bring out some kind of a valid as well as the relevant results of. Okay. So that means that all research begin with some of kids. You know that that is the reason. Some all these research definitely will begin with some kind of observation. See, suppose if Dr. Siddlinga Swami done some kind of research on BRTS buses, how this move. Before that, their researcher gone there and how the people, what sort of people come to the taking into BRTS bus, because other buses, Bendre buses also there, and NWRTC buses are there. And how much time they are spending on that. So how much time they are, how much money they are going to spend of it, why they are choosing all those things, and what sort of a people are coming with as a student, all this observation they made it, they made it. That means that all the research begin with some kind of a observation. Then we will move on to the what method is definitely required and what are the methodologies are we will come up with and drawn out of it. Okay, so this is some exercise we made it while talking about the observation as one of the inclusive class. I made it, so I gave some kind of a observation like some kind of a observation in the videos. Then we done some kind of exercise. So on this class may not be required because it already is covered. So this is a okay. This forget about all these things. So, okay, so there are some kind of general observation and scientific observation uh, when it serves a pharmacy research. See, for the purpose of research, it should be the scientific means, then observation will be very important. Um, and then systematically, we should be plan and record and is subjected to check and control on the validity and reliability and process of recording behavior pattern of the people, object and occurrence without questioning. That is what without questioning or communicating with them, with the people and the object, we keep on observing what exactly the behavior of it. Don't think that is the only behavior will be behavior of the people will be the area of the psychologist. No. So every research the observation is required. Okay, so again I said that here the participant observation will not be there, non-participant observation, because you are not participating into that, you are observing. And you have to be observe and recording, so like that. So then it's a scientific method. Observation is when it will be the scientific method means how what are the process happen. But I said that observation, when it is quantify the patterns, then become the theory that we already discussed. So when it theory used to derive, when is theory used to derive predictions, so okay, then that will be devised some kind of a test. That's a negative evidence. That evidence may be is positive evidence means that will be go to the application, that the application part will go. That based on the device of the test, that evidences are negative, then get a new theory again here. The same way, our prediction can't devise a test. Devise a test, then will be evident. Can't devise the test, it's make a new prediction again. Okay, the same way it is a again evidence is positive, go for the application or proceed with a new prediction again. Okay, this is the way that scientific methods move on to that. Okay, observation quantify the quantify pattern means become the theory, then used to derive the prediction. The theory is used to derive the prediction. Then if the prediction devise a test, it's evidence. So if that is negative, positive application, negative again get a new. The same prediction can't devise a test, again make a new predictions. So this is the way that scientific research always move on. So theory behind the method. So these are all always probably you done learned it. So what are the characteristics of observation method is required? Its observation is selective, some physical as well as the both mental activity, and it should be a purposive and not casual. So very purposive observation should be there. Simply, casual observation, and it captures the natural social, the natural setting ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು capture ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So there are some kind of a different phases of observation method. And I said that different kind of observation method, direct, indirect observation, controlled and uncontrolled observations also here. And again, non-participants methods, how the people talk, movement, their behavior, preferences, how business ventures, the videos are there. Videos of if you watch the videos, if you listen the audios, those are all the you will not be participating in that, but it will be observed all those things. So indirect and direct methods is also kind of a thing. Will not be will be personally should be there or not should be there. That is the thing. And controls and suppose if there is in the lab observation carried out in the lab, that is a again controlled, and controlled means cannot be controlled on our own. Okay. So participant observation is uncontrolled. Because you will participate, you are also participate, but it's uncontrolled. We cannot be control the exactly how the situation move on to that. You are also part of it. So again, this is a participant observation, as I said that. Okay, this is a Malinowski, a British anthropologist. He spent almost a year in a Papua New Guinea tribe. So it's a
Sir,
yeah.
we cannot see your slides, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
ಓ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ರಾಮಪ್ಪ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Sir, visible, sir, visible.
Visible, you check with somebody said no. What was that? Aditya.
ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ PPT ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ರಿಸರ್ಚ್
First-
ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಇದು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
Only
ಇಲ್ಲ sir,
showing
ಇಲ್ಲ
first
sir.
slide.
I didn't get you. What is that?
Only showing first slide.
I was again showing the first slide.
Yes, sir.
So all slides will be visible, sir, but at the end of the observation method, that cannot
Okay.
be just first slide should be showing, sir.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Now,
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Now
Oh,
is
yes.
visible, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
okay. This was, I think ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾಣಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
Yes, sir. Kindly.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. So anyway, so these are all, anyway, we discussed all those things. So this is a Malinowski is one of the anthropologists. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ observation method as well as the participant observation specifically started. Is a ಇವನು ಬೊಟಾನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಪಾಪಾ ನ್ಯೂಜಿನಿಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಐಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಫಾರ್ ಹೋಲ್ year 3 years ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಥಂಬ್ ರೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ at least for the participant observation you should be there in the field for at least a year, because you need to be observe what is happening for the whole year. Some festivals may happen in this particular month and some kind of events happen in particular week. So in that sense, it's very important that the researcher should be there in the field or with the people with building the rapport. Building rapport is very, very important when you are conducting the ethnographic research or this participant observation. Participant observation means you also participant. People may not be ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಈಸಿಗೆ ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರೋ ಹೋಗಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ಹಬ್ಬ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯು ಗೋ ದರ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಹೇಗಿದೆ ರಿಚುವಲ್ಸ್, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೊ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ as well as the certain kind of rules which are embedded in the community, particular community or the group of people. So even Malinowski is a pioneer in field work, father of field work in anthropology ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಡನ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಲಾರಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಪೈನಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸೆಡ್. ಎಮಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೊ ಎಮಿಕ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡರ್ ವ್ಯೂ, ಎಟಿಕ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ ವ್ಯೂ. ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಎಮಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡರ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ದನ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್. ಇನ್ಸೈಡರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸಮಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ನು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ನ, ಬಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ look each and every very minute aspects also important. Okay, so ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ಇದೆ. ತಮ್ಮ ರೂಲ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಡೂ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ethnographic research or with the participant observation. See, the why participant observation, these are all the things. So what are the meaning behind the behavior that will be uncovered by the participant observation? Certain kind of rules and norms of the particular community, I said that. So unspeaking who sits where. ಈಗ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಹಬ್ಬ ನಡೀತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ರಿಚುವಲ್, ಡೆತ್ ರಿಚುವಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎನಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಚುವಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಹೂ ಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್. ಇವಾಗ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಸಣ್ಣವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಗಂಡಸ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹೆಂಗಸ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಚಿಕ್ಕವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಜಮಾನ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇವರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರ ಪೂಜಾರಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅದ್ರದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ನಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬೈ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಕೇಳೋದ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಹೇಳದೇ ಇರುವಂತದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್, certain aspects are cannot be discussed. It is a limitations or that limits for the discussion. There the observation method will be helpful. So and also like taboos, health schemes, beliefs, some kind of a belief system. Okay, ಅವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂಥ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಇರ್ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇರ್ರಿಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಇರ್ರಿಲೆವೆಂಟ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಯರ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಡೀಟೈಲ್ಡ್, ರಿಲಯಬಲ್, ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೆರಿ ಡೀಟೈಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ವೆರಿ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಸಿ. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಈಗ ಮದುವೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಫೋಟೋಗ್ರಾಫರ್ ತರ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ತಾಳಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ತೆಗೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಾರ ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಹಾಕಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಈಗ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲಿ ಬಿಹೇವಿಂಗ್. ದ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ವೆರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಡಾಟಾ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. Okay, so there are many ethical concerns also there, not only ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ do you disclose, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, ಕೋವರ್ಟ್ ಓವರ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟಿವ್, ಸೊ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ. ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಯು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್. And make your intention clear to participate. You always see observation ಮಾಡುವಾಗ should be very clear enough your intentions. So clear ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಎನ್ಯಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂಥರ ಏಲಿಯನ್ ಅನಿಸ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಅಥವಾ they should not be feel that somebody is observing, but you should be clear that for the purpose of research or something when you are making ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ರಿಚುವಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಹಬ್ಬ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ. ಸೊ should be clear that we are for the purpose of research, we are keep on recording and keep on observing something. So then their behaviors will be normal. Okay, then get informed consent. Suppose if that is our discuss ಮಾಡೋದಾಗಿದ್ರೆ that get the consent informed. Without consent of their information, okay, that is a ethical concern. Again, sometimes here observation method we may not be take the consent. So that is also one of the ethical concern here. So here maintaining confidentiality is much important. ಸೊ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರದ್ದು ಸುಮಾರು ರಿಚುವಲ್ಸ್ಗಳಿವೆ. ಸೊ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರೋವಂಥದ್ದು ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಇದಿರ್ತವೆ, ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಥವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಶಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ bias. ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವರ್ ಬಯಾಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್, ನಾವೇನೋ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ನ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್. ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ರೆಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅದೇ ತರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೇ ತರದ್ದು ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೆಂಟಿಯಸ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಜನರಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಜನರಲೈಸಬಲ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಸಿ our observations cannot be generalized in other situations. So those are all certain kind of a weakness. Okay, so okay, an effectively observer, you should be know what are you are researching and know the culture of the particular community or particular group of people. When you work culture and ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. So we need to understand the certain kind of norms as well as the customary law ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Suppose if you go to any kind of a community study market, so you should know the customary law. ಯಾವುದು ಸರಿ, ಯಾವುದು ತಪ್ಪು, ಯಾವುದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು, ಯಾವುದು ಕೆಟ್ಟು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ಆದಂಥ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ customary laws will be there. So we should know that exactly the culture. Here's how you will explain your purposes. ಹೀಗೆ ಆ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ನ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ you should be ರಿಯರ್ಸ್. ಚೆಕ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್, biases, experience and expectation. Have a blank mind. Don't go with some kind of biases. ನನಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಥರ ಮಾಡಬಲ್ಲೆ, ಹಿಂಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಇದೇ ಥರ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ದೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಇನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಹೋಗಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇದೇ ಥರದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಇದೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು ಟೇಕ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಬಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಮೈ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. Okay, document what you observe without expectation and summarize and expand on field notes as soon as possible. Field notes very important. ಒಂದು ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ಕೊಳತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದು ಅದನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಹೌ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಬಿ ಓಪನ್ ಟು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮುಲೇಷನ್. ರಿಫಾರ್ಮುಲೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನೀಡ್ ಬಿ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. So effective observer andre these are all the qualities are important. So these are all some advantages of that I already discussed. Certain limitations also, very slow, large number of persons are to be contacted, becomes unsuitable, sometimes unethical, without knowledge, ಮತ್ತೆ consent ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. So these are all some limitations. So this is about the observation method. If you have any further questions, please ask. We have time over another 5 minutes probably.
Oh, sir.
Dear participants, any questions? Okay. Dear all participants, please turn on your camera for take a picture. Okay, thank you, sir. Dr. J. Prabhakar, sir.
Yeah, before I conclude that,
Okay.
I must be thankful to organizers, Dr. Sidlinga Swami sir, and also Ramappa, Seema, and also from the participant side, I know that somebody from Rohit, Durgappa, and many of them are, I cannot be take one names of, I forgot the name. I have a habit of forgetting the name of the people. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to discuss, share my views and also experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you for valuable information. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I sincerely thank you for your sharing valuable thoughts and importance of the observation. I also appreciate the participants for attending the session patiently. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ AWS ಜೊತೆ
ಹಾ, ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ರೂಮ್ ಇದೆಯಂತೆ.
ಹಾ, ಸರ್.